Kamala Harris's campaign team, knowing the amazing speaker she is, in air quotes, decided to bring her out of the basement and put her on some interviews, and they decided to put her on TV, something you'll remember they were adamant that she not do because of how bad she is in front of people for this whole election. It didn't go too well. I have some clips from the interviews she did that I'll show throughout this video, but I thought I'd start with this one.
How are you going to help young people not feel left behind?
So, first of all, it's a very real issue, and we need to take it seriously. And I do take it very seriously. So there are a number of issues that contribute to that feeling. One is housing is too expensive.
This is the real problem, and people are feeling it. That's her answer. That is who people are looking at voting for the next president of the United States. How is that even an answer? And she does this so much that someone, this is basically how it goes every time. They go, Madam Vice President, you have been vice president for the last 3.5 years. You've said you support all of the policies of Joe Biden, so you can't really, say you weren't in power. People hate your policy. What do you say to that? And her response is this: that is so real. That is so valid. And I'm going to fix it this next time. But she doesn't offer a policy prescription. And here's the thing. You look at campaigning. What is campaigning? Campaigning is essentially just making a case to the people that are going to vote for you that you can get the job done and that you're going to be a good president, meaning you're going to overall maintain their rights, their liberties, and overall give them a good quality of life. Kamala Harris's answer is simply, yes, there are big problems. Yes, I caused them. I'm going to fix them. That's not a good case for Americans, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. It's not even a partisan issue. She's making a bad case for herself. Now, here's where the miscalculation has come in for the Kamala Harris campaign and their strategist. I don't even know what they're thinking. She is in between a rock and a hard place, big time right now. Here's what I mean by that. Kamala Harris wants to run the basement campaign that we've seen her running this whole time because she sucks at speaking. She has no vision, like I just talked about. But also she has huge skeletons in her closet. So just like we saw Tim Walz in that debate, his skeletons came out. It went really bad for him. J.D. Vance, not as many skeletons. It went great for him. So they don't want to put Kamala Harris in the position where things could happen to her like they did to Tim Walz in that debate, for instance. The problem is, though, the polls are freaking them out. If you're a Democrat right now, you're freaking out a bit because the polls are way closer than they were in 2020. And again, Biden barely pulled it out. And as I've talked about in the past, I talked about it just yesterday in my show, the polls are moving big time towards Trump. Now, I've always said this. I don't know if I trust the polls. I think there's some different misaligned incentives out there. I think there's some interesting things. But here's what I can say. When the polls move from point A to point B, I don't know, again, if point A or point B is correct, but what I can say is where the momentum is moving, and I think I do trust that. And what we're seeing right now is that the polling is doing better and better for Donald Trump. And so the momentum is clearly with Donald Trump. And so, again, this is the rock in the hard place, is that she doesn't want to go out of her basement, but she's seeing the polling is pulling away from her. So she has two choices, right? Run the basement campaign and watch the polls slip, or go out and do the interviews. Here's this is a left-wing podcast, or the one I just showed you, but here's another clip of it, of her even admitting that Kamala Harris just doesn't do interviews.
I'm curious, you don't do too many long-form interviews. What made you want to do Call Her Daddy today?
Well, I think you and your listeners have really got this thing right, which is one of the best ways to communicate with people is to be real. And to talk about the things that people really care about.
Ah, yes. Be real, Kamala. You can see from that small interaction there that she's really good at just acting real. And so, guys, the miscalculation here is that Kamala Harris thinks if she goes out and does tons of interviews, that she will rally support and that this kind of momentum that we're seeing with Donald Trump will go back towards Kamala Harris. And I don't think that's true. And the reason why I say that's not true is because listening to her is like watching paint dry. It's boring. It doesn't make you want to vote for her. And so I actually think this is going to plummet her polls down even worse. And that's a tough spot. I mean, if you're working for Kamala Harris, that sucks, right? You do the basement campaign, the momentum goes for Trump. And then you come out and do the interviews, I think it goes even more for Donald Trump. Obviously, we'll see in the coming weeks if the polls manifest that. Again, who knows if the polls are legit anyway, but either way, I don't think Kamala Harris speaking, and you've seen it in just those few clips, is going to magically make it so people want to vote for her. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. Everyone knows What is a Woman. It's on Daily Wire Plus, but did you know that Jordan Peterson is coming out with exclusive content on Daily Wire Plus like almost every month? My wife and I started actually watching his Vision and Destiny series. It's absolutely fantastic. If you use my code in the description below, you'll get 47% off Daily Wire Plus. That includes all of Jordan Peterson's exclusive content on there, as well as all of their literally thousands of hours of entertainment. If you're a conservative and you don't have Daily Wire Plus, I don't even know what you're doing, guys. You got to go. You got to get it, not just for yourself, but also so you can share it with your friends and family. It's got really good content, probably a lot of stuff you don't even know about. I know that, I didn't have a subscription until recently, and seeing all of it on there, I got a lot to watch. I've already enjoyed a lot of it. And guys, you got to use my code in the description below because that will support my channel as well as get you 47% off. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.